do that. Hi, everyone. My name is Grace Shear. I am an associate director with the Arthritis Foundation. I'm so sorry I don't have my video on, but it looks like I'm having some slow connection issues. So I don't have my video on so that you can at least hear me all right. If there are any problems, please let me know and I'll try to troubleshoot as we go. But I wanted to welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight to come and learn more about the Arthritis Foundation. As I mentioned, I'm an associate director. I work specifically with our Northern California market with my colleague, Heather Funk, and who will be joining us in a little bit and will be introducing herself as well. But I know that there's some of you joining from outside Northern California, and all of this information that we're going to share today is relevant no matter where you live. And if you're looking for local people to connect with or your local staff, just let us know, send me an email or give me a call after tonight's presentation and we can get you in touch with the right people. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, hopefully that shows up. Please let me know if you're able to see. Somebody just come off mute and give me a quick okay.
It's all good.
Thank you so much, Angela. Okay, perfect. So let me see if I can pull up my notes here. Okay, awesome. So I'm really excited to be here and that you're here to learn more about arthritis and the Arthritis Foundation, how to be part of the community. Our goal really is to help people with arthritis live their best life, help people to be able to access the best care and build relationships with other people who might have similar experiences. And just a quick note, please remember that I am not a medical doctor. I do not have a degree or do I practice any sort of medicine. So anything presented here today is for educational and informational purposes only. Anything that's specific to your situation, please do refer to your healthcare provider or rheumatologist to get the best answers and care. So I really love to start by sharing the foundation's mission and vision. It's really summed up quite simply. We work every day to conquer arthritis. Our mission is to guide families through their experience with arthritis, help provide resources, connect patients with education, and also make sure that no one feels alone in their challenges. So to accomplish this, we work closely with partners locally here, such as Sacramento Library, YMCAs, local institutions like UCSF, Stanford, Davis, lots of rheumatologists and other healthcare providers in the area, therapists, physical therapists, occupational therapists. And most importantly, we work with volunteers who help us connect with the community on every level. So just to share the immense impact of arthritis, it is America's #1 cause of disability, and it affects 1 in 4 Americans. So that's about a quarter of us who will experience arthritis at some point in our lives. People of all ages, races, and ethnic groups can be affected, and that does in fact include children. So this causes an immense burden on missed work days as well as lost wages and medical expenses. So this is a little bit about our impact on arthritis since 2018, about 4 years ago. We've put $12 million towards osteoarthritis research at 15 different institutions across the country. We spent about $3 million on rheumatology workforce development, $12 million on juvenile arthritis research and programs, and that amounts to, more than 20 research projects supported. And that is a nationwide impact that we're having. So this map shows you everywhere that we either have funded a rheumatology fellow to increase the number of rheumatologists in the field, because one of the biggest barriers of having arthritis and getting diagnosed is having access to care. There are states across the country with literally not even a single rheumatologist in that state for patients to see. Some of these dots, the orange ones, also illustrate where we have are working on clinical trials in osteoarthritis. The purple ones are where we have CARA registry sites, and this is geared towards children who have juvenile arthritis. And then lastly, we also fund research grants throughout the country. So what actually is arthritis? We hear this term a lot, and it is very common, but actually not very well understood. So actually, arthritis is not a single disease. It's kind of an informal way of referring to joint pain or joint disease. There are more than 100 different types of arthritis and related conditions. People, like we mentioned earlier, people of all ages, genders, races, can and do have arthritis. It's the leading cause of disability in America. And I think this number has increased dramatically now, but the data shows that more than 50 million adults and 300,000 children have some type of arthritis. It tends to be more common among women and occurs more frequently as people get older. Some common arthritis joint symptoms include swelling of the joints, pain, stiffness, and decreased range of motion. Some of these symptoms, they can come and go. They can be mild, moderate, or severe. They could stay about the same for years, but can progress or get worse over time. Severe arthritis can result in chronic pain. It can hinder someone's ability to do daily activities and make it difficult to climb or to walk or climb stairs. Arthritis, in fact, can cause permanent joint changes. So these changes may be visible sometimes, and sometimes they're not. And if they are visible, it could be something like knobby finger joints. And when they're not physically visible, the damage can really only be seen on X-ray. And sometimes some types of arthritis also affect a person's heart, their eyes, lungs, kidneys, and skin, as well as joints. So how does the Arthritis Foundation exist to help people who experience these symptoms and have a diagnosis? Most importantly, we have a website. You might have seen it. It's at www.arthritis.org. This is kind of a catch-all for literally everything, all things arthritis. And speaking of which, I wanted to go ahead and pull up a page on arthritis.org as an example so that you can see some of the resources that you might be able to find here. So this page specifically is a resource page about gout. But if you go to arthritis.org, you can type in any term here where the magnifying glass is and find the information that you might be looking for. So this is specifically about gout. As you see, it's has a definition of what it is, people that it might affect, and what the sort of scientific mechanism that is happening when someone is diagnosed with gout. It shares some causes and triggers of the condition. Some ways that you might get gout. It says here it results from genes, other health conditions. Sounds like it could also be dietary. What causes gout, some risk factors, how it might be diagnosed, so that you and other folks looking at this page might have an idea of what your doctor might test for when you go in. And then, very importantly, some ways that you might be prescribed treatment. So this is just an example of a great resource page that we have. We have this for many other conditions, such as rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, lupus. All you have to do is visit arthritis.org, type in whatever it is that you're looking for, and you should be able to find something relevant for you. It's also a really great place to start to get connected with your community. So if you notice up here on the top right, if I click on your local area, if my internet will cooperate here. Yes, okay. I don't live in Oklahoma. I'm not sure why it does that. But let's look at California. For example, let's say we're in San Francisco area. It'll tell you the local contact. This is Heather Funk, our executive director, who you'll meet in just a little bit. And then as you go down, it'll tell you where, what are some upcoming events that you can join. A lot of our Connect groups, our support group events are still virtual. And so you can scroll through, hopefully, yeah. Corks for a Cure is one of our upcoming line events. And so it's a really great place to see what's happening and sort of where to find some resources. Like I think this is a great event coming up, Military and Veterans Connect group. That's our version of a support group. Their topic is going to be pain management. And if you click on the link, you can sign up to join and meet some peers that way. Okay, so that's arthritis.org. Again, a great place to just look for resources, start to get connected, and then next, our insights assessment. This is a ongoing study that takes patient-reported outcomes and summarizes it so that we can, the Arthritis Foundation can create and post programming that is specific to what the community is asking for. It's a really short survey. It just takes 10 minutes. If you go to arthritis.org/insights, you'll be able to take the assessment. It's anonymous, but it's really valuable because it tells us, ask questions like, how would you rate your pain, and what kind of activities are you able to accomplish or not accomplish, or how is your arthritis affecting your social life and your mental health. So that, for example, if we find that a certain community is really struggling with mental health, that maybe we provide some more resources and put on some educational events that help to address this. So our next resource is the Vim app. So this is an app that you can download on your phone, whether you have an Apple iPhone or an Android phone. It's available to everybody. And this app is actually, it's the latest tool that we are providing to fight against chronic pain. So it helps users set attainable goals and achieve small accomplishments that can add up to big victories. So it, with a chronic condition like arthritis, there might be activities that you can no longer do, but what are some small steps that we can take to help you feel a little bit more normalcy? So I think this should play just to give you a little visual of what the app looks like. On the app, you can also chat anonymously with other people who have arthritis. You can, like it's doing right now, just setting up a very simple goal. Maybe in order to get back to hiking, I will take a 10-minute walk every other day. So, breaking it down so that you have a little bit of control over your life and work towards a goal. So I'm going to move on to the next slide. And some other great ways that we help is we have a free helpline. It's an 800 number. The number is right here, 1-800-283-7800. If you call during regular business hours, you'll reach a live person. We have a couple of social workers who are there to help with any sort of questions from, where can I find the doctor, to some, insurance issues you might be having, or questions about specific terms that your doctor might have mentioned during an appointment, but you didn't have time to ask for clarification, or you thought of questions later. So it's a really helpful resource. Anybody can call. You don't have to have arthritis. If you know someone with arthritis and you're trying to help them manage and get through their journey, you're welcome to call as well. And there is also a Spanish speaking resource on that line. So anybody who may be more comfortable speaking just Spanish is able to utilize that resource as well. And I mentioned earlier when I showed you the website that we have connect groups, and these are our version of support groups. This is where you have the chance to meet peers, either in person, face-to-face, or virtual through a Zoom platform just like this, who have arthritis and other similar experiences. You can see, what's available either in your area or some special, national special interest groups at connectgroups.arthritis.org, and just start to chat with people who, maybe they're further along their journey, or help others who are recently diagnosed. And then we have our online community at liveyesterarthritis.org. And this is another just great peer resource where you can, it's almost like a message board where you can post questions and see what others think. Most often I see people asking about specific drugs, specific types of treatments, and people are asking about side effects and what other experiences might be with that. So these are great ways to just, meet others and not feel like you are literally the only person who knows what you're going through. And then I mentioned at the beginning that arthritis also affects children. And so the child version of arthritis is often called juvenile arthritis. Kids can also get diagnosed with lupus, ankylosing spondylitis, and other rheumatic conditions. And for these families, we support them with local summer camps, national conferences. They also have their own versions of support groups as well. And so locally here, we have a summer camp called Camp Milagros, and this happens in Livermore, California every summer. And so this summer, it took place in late June. I think we had roughly about 30 children join, and it's really a place where they can join what looks like on its surface just a normal, really fun summer camp, but really is only possible because of the medical support that we're able to provide from our medical volunteers who are local medical professionals. They tend to be rheumatologists, nurses, fellow, rheumatology fellows studying to be pediatric rheumatologists. And then nationally, we host a juvenile arthritis conference every year, also in the summer, where families travel from all over the country to come meet in person and attend informational sessions, but also to meet each other. And that tends to be really valuable because when you have a child with a chronic condition, it very, most often will affect the whole family. And so for them to meet each other and share experiences is really valuable. And then lastly, we host a series of patient education webinars throughout the year. We started this during COVID and have kind of just kept it going because it's so well received. And so this year in 2022, we had a session on COVID and rheumatic disease. We heard from Dr. Patterson on integrative medicine in the second quarter. We most recently heard from Dr. Jameson on osteoarthritis over the summer. And then in October, during the fourth quarter, we have Dr. Shaw speaking on integrative medicine from Stanford. So these are well-respected, very well-studied experts of their fields that we ask to share their time with us from local institutions. As you can see, it tends to be Stanford and UCSF here in Northern California. And it's really valuable. It's another chance for you and others with arthritis to interact with a healthcare provider. They usually give a presentation about 45 minutes long, and then there's a question and answer session that proves to be, always really lively, and there's always great questions. So there will be a link in the follow-up email to today's open house with the page to sign up for our last session of the year on integrative medicine with Dr. Shaw. I would highly recommend anybody who's interested to definitely sign up and join. They don't cost anything, and integrative medicine has continued to be a huge topic with patients that we interact with, because everybody is very curious to know, besides taking your meds and following your doctor's medical plan, what other lifestyle changes, nutrition, other types of things can you adopt to improve your arthritis. So it's not alternative medicine because it's not in place of what your doctor's prescribing, but it is a way to learn more about some, I call them enhancements that you can make to your life to make your arthritis better. So I'm going to hand it over to Heather if you're on with us.
I am here.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. I did a little bit in the beginning, but feel free.
Oh, sure. I'm Heather Funk. I am the executive director here for Northern California and Northern Nevada. I've been with the foundation for about 7.5 years, and this is something new that we started last year, like Grace mentioned, and it's just actually this year we started it. It's a wonderful resource for us to get out to the community, let everyone know what we have going on here, because to be honest, arthritis affects 1 in 4 people. And when I started, I didn't even know the Arthritis Foundation existed. And my sister had arthritis. My grandparents have arthritis. And so it touched me personally, and I didn't even know that we existed. So we really are trying to make sure that we get out in the community and let people know the different resources that we have. Everything that Grace just mentioned is so valuable for people living with arthritis on how to kind of live their best life. And that's what we're here for. So Grace talked about our mission stuff, and I'm going to talk about the kind of community fundraiser events that we have going on for people to join. You don't have to have arthritis to attend any of these events. They are all pretty arthritis friendly. But I'll start off with our California Coast Classic. It's a bike ride from San Francisco down to LA. It's actually going on right now. They're somewhere along the coast today, and they usually get about 200 to 250 riders. They fundraise and they ride their bikes down the coast. It's a wonderful event. And all of the events that I'm going over today, if anyone's interested in them or any of the stuff that Grace talked about, just respond to the post event email or put it in the chat, and we will follow up with you guys and send you information. So this is the bike ride that we have. It actually raises over $1.1 million a year. So we're very proud of it. It is the biggest fundraiser that we have within the foundation, and it's just a really fun event that we do. The next one is our, this is what we call our flagship event. It's our Walk to Cure Arthritis. We do them all across the country. Here in Northern California, because our territory is so wide, we usually do a virtual one for Northern California. It is free to sign up. For the virtual ones, you sign up, and then we encourage you to kind of walk your way, walk with your family and friends in a place that you feel comfortable, a park, your neighborhood, a local, track, walking path, whatever it is. We want you to get out and spend time with your team, family, friends. Fundraise if you would like. It's not required. Everyone who raises $100 or more gets an event t-shirt. We send that out to you. It's just a really fun event for our community and for people to help raise awareness. You'll see as we get closer to the springtime, May is Arthritis Awareness Month. So you'll see stuff on social media and different posts and emails about the walk and joining the walk. The next one is my favorite event. It's our Jingle Ball Run. It's a fun, festive 5K that we do. Ours in Northern California is in Sacramento. But if you're not local, you can definitely do something that's called Jingle in Your Jammies. So you register, and we ship you out your t-shirt and your event medal, and you can do your 5K and clock your time however you would like. You do not have to run it. You can walk it if you're here. I'm not a runner, and I walk it. It's a very fun, festive event. Everyone comes dressed up in holiday clothes. If that's not your thing, it's okay. You won't stick out if you're not dressed up in your holiday clothes, but a lot of people do come dressed up. We do an ugly sweater contest. People bring their dogs. It is dog and, someone actually brought, I believe it was ponies. Someone brought their ponies, their emotional support ponies to the run one year. So it is, I guess, pet friendly. Any well-behaved pet is invited to come. It's stroller friendly. And again, it's for all skill levels of runners. You can walk it, you can run it, you can jog it. If you can sign up for timed or untimed. There's a kid run and a whole kid zone. Santa will be there for photos. We have cookie decorating, ornament making, Christmas music. It's just a really fun event. And ours is December 10th in Sacramento at William Land Park. And again, if you're not local, but you still want to participate, you can sign up as for the Jingle in Your Jammies option, and we will send you the materials. The other thing is we are always looking for volunteers. So we I don't know if you've picked up on it, but Grace and I are the only staff for the entire Northern California and Northern Nevada. So we go from Fresno to the Oregon border and then the top half of Nevada. So that's a lot of territory, and it's just Grace and I. And so we would not be able to do what we do without the help of volunteers. So if you've ever been interested in volunteering, giving back to the community in any capacity, it could be something as simple as sending emails to newly diagnosed patients that have reached out to us saying that they would like information, just sending them an email, giving them a phone call saying, you know, hey, I just want to check in and see how things are going. You could volunteer at our events. You could join the board. We have event volunteers either day of or planning committees that you can join. If you wanted to help plan things like this open house that we do, you know, there's that option. We also are looking for volunteers that want to help go to doctors' offices and hand them our brochures that we have and any literature that their patients might benefit from. I mean, basically anything that you could want to do, we have a job for that. It could be, I don't know, you know, making packets. We don't have a physical office, but usually depending on, you know, where you live and the program that we have currently, we can send stuff that you can help work on. And then advocacy. Advocacy is a huge, huge part of what we do. We have dedicated staff at the national office that work with our advocates. You sign up online and they have all the materials ready for you. So you will put in what district you live in. They'll find it for you. Usually you can put like your zip code or your county and they will tell you who your representative is. They draft the emails for you to send to your local representatives, and all you have to do is copy and paste it in your email and send it off. We do advocacy days where you get together and we go to the Capitol and we talk to the legislators and talk about the different bills that we are supporting and trying to get passed. So if any of these volunteer opportunities are jumping out at you, or there's something on here that you don't see but you want to get involved, please reach out to us. We welcome all the help we can get. We love working with the community and meeting everyone, and it's just a really fun thing for us to do, to be able to work with you guys on a more regular basis and more personal with everyone. So those are the volunteer opportunities. Oh, and that's it. So that is the end of my portion of the presentation. Is there do we want to stop sharing our screen, Grace, and we can?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing. Are there any questions? We have plenty of time to hear any thoughts or questions or anything that we mentioned that might jump out at you. I believe everybody's muted, but feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself or type in the chat box on the right if there's anything you'd like to share.
There's no silly question. You know, there's usually nothing that we haven't heard before. If you ask a question that we haven't heard before, you might get a prize. But please feel free to put it in the chat or take yourself off mute. We get questions about events. We get questions about needing help finding a doctor. We get questions about insurance issues. I mean, some of them we don't have the answer to, but we can definitely point you in the right direction. So and then so if you're not comfortable saying it on the line or publicly, you can send us an email and we will follow up with you.
Absolutely. So there is a question in the chat. Can you give any more info on the Jingle Bell Run walk?
Yeah. Let's see. Is there something specific you were looking for?
Catherine, do you have any specific questions? The date, how to sign up? So while Catherine is thinking about specifics, date, times, all the above.
Oh, perfect. It's December 10th at William Land Park. I believe registration is starting at 8. Don't quote me on that. But Grace will put the website in the post-event email, or the post open house email that you guys are going to get. She'll put the website in there so that you guys can peek around and take a look. And if you still have questions, I believe it was Catherine, please feel free to reach out and we'd be happy to answer them. It's a very fun event. We usually have about 700 to 800 people attend. It's so fun, you guys. I can't even stress enough how fun it is.
It is a lot of fun. Last year we had Santa, we had face painting for the kids. It's just such a joy. I love the holidays, so it's something that I love. There was a second question. Are the patient education webinars recorded? Yes, great question. Most of them are recorded. Every once in a while, we'll get a speaker who is sharing information that's maybe part of research that's not yet published, or for whatever reason they ask us not to record, but the majority of them are. And Stu, if you, I could probably just include the link for all the past recordings in a follow-up email to today's presentation, so that you all have that on hand to view. But I also recommend that you, highly recommend that you sign up for the next session, because even if you can't attend the specific date and time, it will be recorded. But the easiest way for us to get that to you after the event is if you sign up, because the link goes out to everyone. And then I see a question about OA. My OA has recently started to flare almost constantly. Should I ask my doctor to refer me to a rheumatologist? She has told me to treat the pain with over-the-counter medications and prescription creams. I feel like it's rapidly getting worse. Should I talk to someone offline? So Angela, we're not doctors, so take what we say with a grain of salt, but just having talked to a lot of people with arthritis and specialists who treat patients, I would definitely ask your doctor to refer you to a rheumatologist. You may ask for a referral to both a rheumatologist and perhaps even a sports medicine specialist. Sometimes they're called orthopedic surgeons, which I know sounds scary, but I promise that, just seeing them doesn't mean you're going to need surgery. The rheumatologist can see, I don't know if perhaps you need more testing. It is possible to have both osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. So if the things that your current doctor are prescribing is not working for you, maybe there's more testing that needs to be done to get to the bottom of your condition. But I am always err on the side. I have a chronic condition myself, and I always err on the side of getting as much information as you can, and not being afraid to, seek out specialists, get second, third, fourth opinions if needed, especially if you're still in pain, because that's going to interfere with your life. And if it feels like it's getting worse, you can be your best advocate in that sense.
Yeah, I was gonna add to that, Grace. For anyone on here, if you feel like you, and this isn't to put down doctors, but if you feel like you're not being heard, or you want a second opinion or anything like that, like you have to be your own advocate at this. It's the world that we live in. You really need to kind of find the strength to stand up for yourself and make sure that you are getting the best treatment possible. And if something's not working, don't be afraid to be vocal about it and explain to your doctor how you're feeling. And if you feel like your doctor's not taking to heart what you're saying, then definitely maybe get a second opinion, and it's time to find another doctor, because you shouldn't have to live your life in pain like this. And so hopefully you can get your doctor to refer you to a rheumatologist. Maybe join the next quarterly series that we have coming up on integrative medicine, and see Those doctors do a Q&A, like Grace said. Again, they're not your doctor, so they can't specifically go into detail, but they might have some advice about different things that you can try. So please definitely, advocate for yourself and make sure that you feel like you're getting the treatment that you deserve.
Absolutely. And Angela, if you happen to be in the area and you're curious about doctors that we've, heard from and worked with, feel free to shoot me an email and I can hopefully get you some recommendations. If you're not, definitely feel free to reach out to our helpline for some more information. And there is another question. As you know, some medication is quite expensive. So do you have any resources for getting those expensive meds? Mimi, I'm going to refer you to our helpline because I believe they can help you search for any manufacturer coupons. If you're getting denials from insurance, I think they can help you navigate that process and get you, guide you to what you might need, perhaps from your doctor or anything to get things covered. Does anyone have experience with acupuncture for pain relief to lessen severity? That's a great question. I just speaking from personal experience, I don't have arthritis, but I've done acupuncture myself. And I have heard that it can be very useful for pain relief. Again, we're not doctors. Definitely before you, set an appointment with the acupuncturist, talk to either your primary care physician or your rheumatologist first to see if it's a safe option for you. But it's definitely like a modality of integrative medicine that we have heard of. Yeah, and Marianne says acupuncture is great. She has a great acupuncturist in San Francisco if anyone needs a recommendation. See, this is why we like to get you guys together in the same virtual room, because you all have the experience to share.
We also have a Facebook group. It's called Northern California Arthritis Warriors. It's been a little bit dormant lately, but we've created that as a space for people to hop on and say, hey, I'm in this part of Northern California. Has anyone had experience with acupuncture? And do you have someone you recommend? So I can have Grace will send the link out to that Facebook group. If you're on social media, you can join that and kind of put feelers out there as well and see if anyone has any recommendations or things that work for them.
I am typing the helpline number into the chat box because I know it was in our presentation, but you might not have written it down. There it is, 800 283-7800. So, definitely call if you have any of those questions about insurance. But don't call right now, call during business hours. Any other questions? This has been so great. I'm so glad that everybody joined. Like we mentioned, we'll send out a follow-up email with some of the resources we talked about, upcoming events, the link to the Facebook group so that you all can chat with each other. And if you think of anything afterwards, just respond to that email, respond to the invite email, whatever it is, it'll all come to me. And I'll try to put you either answer your question or help guide you in the right direction. So thank you everybody for joining tonight. And we hope you have a great night and that we see you again in October at the next webinar session.
Bye, everyone. It was wonderful to meet you.
Thank you.
Save our contact information. Let us know if you guys have any questions or if you need help with anything. We're here to help.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great one.